Enhancement Talent of the Week. Whoa, with Donnie and Jay. The jobbers might not have the greatest physiques. Whoa, Enhancement Talent of the Week.
The Enhancement Talent of the Week is brought to you by Star Will Books, your map to amazing stories. Star Will Books is the publisher of the best-selling science fiction series, The Adventures of Duke LaGrange. Visit them today at starwillbooks.com. Donnie, I got a good one this week. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so this Enhancement Talent has a pretty nice sized resume with some really cool stuff. And I think a lot of folks will probably remember him just because he's done a lot and has been kind of out there and in the wrestling world for some time. So he started training and was in the same training class as Stone Cold Steve Austin, his trainer being that gentleman, Chris Adams. So there we go. So right now we're starting off hot. He is a former NWA World Tag Team champion. In fact, 2 times with his partner, Kit Carson. Now, this was during an era where the NWA World Tag Team title, I'm going to try to say this in the nicest way, was a little bit more indie-fied. It was a little bit more on the independent scene. These weren't the big houses that we're used to. So it was later on in that kind of late 90s period. He also was an NWA Texas Tag Team champion and an NWA Texas Heavyweight champion. He wrestled in the WWF, in Global Wrestling Federation, in the USWA. In the USWA, he actually even had some pretty badass matches, including a tag team match against the Miracle Violence Connection. Yes, Doc and Gordy themselves. He also fought in the USWA Texas title tournament and lost in the first round to Rugged Rod Price. In the GWF, he hit some of the heavy hitters in the roster there. We're talking about Iceman King Parsons, Wild Bill Irwin. And even though he's a big dude, he somehow managed to sneak into the GWF light heavyweight tournament and lose in the first round to Hollywood John Tatum. And it wasn't one of those, I'm really 280 pounds, I'm going to sneak in by a loophole type thing. No, they just considered him a light heavyweight. I guess their minimums was like 240 or something. So that's pretty crazy. He wrestled also the Ebony Experience, the future Harlem Heat there in GWF. He had a nice little run, a couple matches here and there in the WWF in the early 90s, where he wrestled the Nasty Boys, the final TV match of the New Foundation, as well as Shawn Michaels. And this was all in 1992. Then a few years later, once again on the indie scene in the NWA with his partner Kit Carson is where he really made kind of a name for himself. And he had some great battles with Kevin Northcutt. He was in a big 4-team, 4 corners match for those NWA World Tag Team titles up in New Jersey. And one of the teams that was in there was Dr. Tom Pritchard and Tully Blanchard. They didn't end up winning. In fact, I believe Eric Sabratia and Knuckles Nelson won that. But he did manage to parlay this late 90s success in the NWA with a couple more WWF appearances in 1999. He actually won a dark match on SmackDown against Kevin Northcutt and then teamed with Northcutt and lost to Draws and Albert on Jacked. He also ended up wrestling the WWF that year against The Godfather on Shotgun Saturday Night. He lost to the future Rodney Mack in a dark match for Heat. He's wrestled a lot of big names, whether it's Public Enemy or Bull Schmidt from Pro Wrestling Noah. He challenged, Lance Archer on the indie scene back when he was wrestling under a different moniker. The Said Man from All Japan, Chad Hart, who was the son of Gary Hart. He even wrestled one of the Colossal Kongs, King Kong, but on the indie scene wrestled as Crusher Kong. Like I said, he's done it all. He did return after I don't know how many years of retirement, almost 20 years of retirement, 10 years of retirement, and wrestled in a battle royal on an indie show in North Texas at some point in 2019. And now, for all that I can tell online, he's trying his hand at stand-up comedy. So, what a renaissance man and what a renaissance enhancement talent. So, Donnie, I'm going to give you a chance here. Any ideas on who this might be?
This might be the one week where I actually know who we're talking about. So I guess I get to do the honors.
Yeah, huh? Absolutely.
That would be one half of Team Extreme, the Kutthroat, Kris Germany.
That is correct. And not the Team Extreme that a lot of people are thinking of. The Team Extreme from the NWA and the kind of the regional, like the Texas region back in the late 90s. And it is Kris Germany. Whether you spell his name Kris or Khris, it is still Kris Germany. So good guess. That's a good one. And we are honored to have Mr. Germany as the Enhancement Talent of the Week.